Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. This is the Ramsey Show. It's where we talk with you about your life, your money, your work, and your relationships. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by George Camel. It's been a great week so far. On Monday, Dave and Christina talked about student loan forgiveness and so much more. George and Dave on Tuesday talked about the FTX collapse. Oh, boy. Warren Buffett, his comments on Bitcoin and all the things. And then I told you so from Dave. And then George and Christina talked about a debit card with rewards. Rachel and Dave yesterday took on an interfering mother-in-law trying to do a budget for her son, a pregnant wife whose husband refuses to buy her soap. And in general this week, we've taken calls on buying a house, investing, tackling debt, buyer's remorse. And we even had a theme hour on how millionaires built their wealth. It's been a great week. We've got a lot done, and we're continuing to keep going today as George and I take on your money calls and your work calls, anything work-related.
One quick point of clarification. The husband refused to buy her soup, not
What did
soap.
I say?
I was wondering, you said soap, and I was like, either way, it's such a hilarious, weird story.
I'll be honest with you, folks. The talking points were a little overwhelming, and I was trying to get through them quickly for your listening pleasure, and it came out soap.
I don't know what's worse, soup or soap.
Well, I thought it was actually more provocative that the husband wouldn't buy his wife soap. Now, there's a deep
It was pretty
problem.
provocative with soup, but soap would be a
It's a
little worse.
hygiene issue.
I would have left it alone for the viewing and listening audience, James. I would not
Producer
have
James
corrected
needed
that.
to bring this up. I
But
love it.
anyway, if you enjoy the show, we'd love for you to share it, subscribe, leave a review, but more importantly, just share it with a friend. And George and I are here today to combine money calls, work calls. So specifically, you understand the money calls. If you're new to me and the area of work focus, pretty simple. If you're not where you want to be, you spend more time at work than you do anything else, and your income is directly related to how much you enjoy your work, how good you're doing it. So if you're stuck, you need a breakthrough, you want to move up the ladder. Can I do all this while in the baby steps? The answer is yes. So I'm here to take some of those work calls. So let's get to this, George. Now that we have
sorted out
confused
the soup fiasco.
with soap. But boy, that I think I'd keep that the same. Can you imagine a pregnant wife and the husband won't buy her soap?
I mean, hygiene or food, either one is a bad situation.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. I remember when Stacy was pregnant, I got her whatever she wanted. If she wanted a giant jar of pickles, I was on my way. Happy wife, happy life. Those hormones and those taste buds.
It's like It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
You know, the moon, I'll bring down the moon.
You get them what they want, George.
Whatever
That's
they want.
marriage advice for everybody. All right, let's get to the phone. Stephen is on the line in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Stephen, how can we help?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet. What's up?
Well, hey, guys, I got a career question, kind of in a weird place. So I love the job that I have right now. Like, I am super valued. I'm thankful for the people that I work with. I feel fulfilled with the work that I'm doing.
Uh-huh.
If I had to pick out one thing, it would be I wish I made a little bit more money.
Okay.
And, I actually had a job interview today, and it is for a little bit more, but I just have trouble leaving the job that I'm enjoying so much. But also at the same point, only being 30, I'm early in my career. And I just feel like I need to be ambitious towards salary, so I just don't know what to do.
Okay. This is a really fun question. I like this. Let's focus on what you're doing now that you really enjoy. What is the work?
So I'm an archivist for a large company that dates back with a rich history with this country.
Okay, great. And you love the current work, and my guess is you also like the team, the people. I mean, it's a good, healthy environment beyond just enjoying the work, correct?
Yeah, so, first off with the work, it's history rich, as I mentioned, so I really enjoy digging into that. But then also the team that I'm with, it just seems like every day they're thanking me for the work that I'm doing.
How long you
Talking
been
about
there?
How much I'm appreciated. About 8 years.
How long?
8 years.
Okay, so what's the ladder look like in this type of work? What's up the ladder for a guy like you, knowing what you love? What is if you were to continually get promoted, what would that look like?
Unfortunately, I don't really think there is one. So the company I'm with, I can absolutely promote, but not within the same area what I'm doing.
Right.
There's actually, with my job, I'm the only one in the country, one archivist for this company.
Right. So what do you
I'd
love
have to leave
most?
the department.
Do you love the work with history, around history, for history, or do you like the detailed nature and the specific nature of being an archivist? Which is most important to you?
I'd say probably the history.
So now we have a ladder, my friend. You have hit your lid with this organization in this particular job. but you have not hit your lid with the organization if we open ourselves up to other jobs. Is that what I'm understanding?
Probably. I don't know, how many jobs they would have as far as their history goes, but, it's worth exploring.
That's next step. That's my advice. Before we take the other job opportunity, I know you just interviewed today, so it's not in front of you, but before we consider leaving, let's look where we are because of the way they treat you. It is really, really, really important that you're in a healthy environment where people care about you, they're willing to develop you, and then they're willing to promote you. And what we got to find out right now is the promotion piece. Are there jobs within the company, whether they're listed as open or not, are there jobs that if they were open, you would be interested in? And would it be fulfilling to you? And I'm going to give you my assessment, the Get Clear assessment. It's a 20-minute assessment, and essentially it will spit out a purpose statement for you as well as a detailed report on talent, what you do best, passion, work you love, and mission, what motivates Steven. So I'm going to give that to you as a confirmation of what you love about what you're doing now and then what other jobs would be a good fit for you. So next steps, where could I go? Where would I want to go in my current company? Then we start looking outside, and we don't just move for a larger salary, but we say, where can I make more money and do the kind of work that I really love? You've got to see what's out there. Make sense?
It does, yeah.
But don't just take a job for the larger salary because you're in your 30s and you go, I should be making more money. I should be more ambitious, because here's what will happen. We're seeing a tremendous amount of workers right now that are regretting. It's called the Great Regret. They're regretting leaving their job for more money and so-called better benefits, and the grass was not greener. And that's what you don't want to do. You want to talk about feeling stuck, is making a move and making this huge transition out of some place that you love being, and then you get there and you go, ugh. Because I can tell you this, George, the paycheck wears off.
Well, people call your show on the other side of this, and they went, Ken, I took the job for more money, and now I'm miserable. Should I take a pay cut for the job that I love?
Right.
Which is exactly where he finds himself. And you always say, well, it's not an either or. You can do both.
Yeah. Well, you study money stuff and money habits all the time. We humans quickly get over a fatter paycheck, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
How quickly do we spend it and adjust our lives to that
lifestyle
new check?
creep. That's what there's a name for it.
Right.
Because human nature is, well, I have more money, I should spend more money.
So now you got the lifestyle creep, and so now the excitement over the bigger paycheck is gone, and then you're working with real creeps. So you got lifestyle creep, and you're working with creeps.
Oh, that's good.
It's a whole lot of creep going on, George.
That's a whole different scenario.
Well, that's what's going to happen. If you go, well, I feel like I need to be here. Wait. It's okay to feel like you want to make more money, and you can make more money, and really enjoy the work you're doing. You got to be patient, though.
Both and.
Hang on the line, Stephen. We're going to get you the Get Clear assessment. For the rest of you that need that clarity, you can get it at RamseySolutions.com, the Get Clear assessment. Go. We'll be right back with more of your calls.
I say it all the time. If you're a business owner and you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. And when markets are shifting, it's even more important. You've got to know where you stand so you make your next move the right move. And you don't have to be in the dark here. Over 31,000 businesses, including my team at Ramsey, know their numbers because they use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. NetSuite gives you visibility and control of your financials, planning, budgeting, and inventory so you can manage risk, get reliable forecasts, and improve margins. Having everything in one place has saved my team hours each week since we made the switch to NetSuite. NetSuite is a game changer. So head on over to netsuite.com/Ramsey to get a product tour today. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show, where we talk about your life with you. We'll give you a clear path to breakthrough and transformation so that you can win in your money, in your work, and in your relationships. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, George Campbell. We're both rocking the denim today, by the way. I noticed
So much denim.
You've got the dark denim, and I've got the, I don't even know what you call it, but there it is.
Medium denim.
Medium denim. Andrea is up next in Greenville, South Carolina. Andrea, which is it?
It's Andrea.
All right, I guessed right.
Yes,
That's
thank
very
you for
exciting.
taking my call.
You
Yes.
bet. What's up?
So for the last year, I have been wanting to embark on a debt-free journey, and I finally think I have my husband ready to do this with me. But my ultimate question is the vehicles. We have 2 vehicles that we owe money on, and do we start with one vehicle that we trade in, or do we do both at the same time?
Now, when you say trade in, are you looking to get a different vehicle at the same time through the same dealership, or what?
Well, I guess ultimately trying to get rid of that debt.
Okay.
You know, when I'm trying to eliminate, we have three debts right now. Of course, student loan is getting ready to start back for me, and I know that we own that together. But we just really made some crappy decisions with vehicles, I feel like, and we have very nice vehicles, but it's just a lot of debt.
So walk us through what the loans are on these cars and what the cars are worth.
Okay, so we have the 2 car loans. My husband has a truck. We still owe about $26,000 on the truck. I have a vehicle, the main family vehicle. SUV, and we owe $33,000 on that. Then couple that with the student loans that I have. That's about $45,000. So that's just a huge number to me, and I just want to do what I can to set us up for the future.
Well, that's a great first step. The fact that you guys are willing to sell the cars to get out of this tells me that you've had your "I've had it" moment, where you drew the line in the sand, you said, no more debt, no more games, we're ready to be free. So do you know what the cars are worth? Have you done your homework on that end?
I have, and we can get more for each, yes. I mean, my car, I could probably get 43, so that's, what, 10,000 or so equity in that.
And then the truck?
And then, the truck, I would think the same. I mean, again, they're both new vehicles.
You get 43 for the truck?
Within the last year. No, we could probably get about 30 for the truck.
Okay, so you'd probably make around 4 on that one. That would leave you with no cars and $14,000. And now you got to turn around and go buy 2 cars for $14,000.
I guess, or do we do one at a time? Yeah.
Well, you can do both at once. Obviously, you got to make sure you have a car at any given moment. But I would not do a trade-in for these because you're going to get much better value if you sell them outright. Because with a trade-in, you're trading it in for another vehicle at the same time. So those dealerships aren't going to give you as much. You can see, but a lot of these dealerships, you're not going to find good deals. You're probably going to need to go over to Auto Trader, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist to find a car that is, $6,000, $7,000 SUV and truck. And they're not going to be pretty. Let me warn you right now. They're not going to be these beautiful vehicles that you're driving. So get the picture out of your head that it's going to have the leather heated seats and have no dents or scrapes in it.
Okay, well, I'm going to record that for my husband.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, this is what I want to know. I mean, you said at the start of the call that I've almost got him, he's almost there. And then we're about ready to hit him with he's got to sell his truck. And boy, is he going to recoil on that
That's
one.
gut-wrenching for most.
Am I right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Has this been brought up already?
I can get this car. Oh, yeah. I mean, we've discussed it, and he says that, I'll just get a car. It'll be better gas mileage for me going to work anyways. But then the cars he keeps showing me are $20,000 and $30,000 cars.
Oh, boy.
What is your household income?
It's $150 a year.
Okay.
What if, George, and I'm just, let's just see here. What if, I wish he would lead. I really do. He needs to man up and lead.
Yeah. But
he's not there yet. What if Andrea sells hers, all right, and she pockets 10, all right, and she goes and gets a $10,000 minivan or SUV or something like that, and she puts him in the corner where she's like, you haven't manned up, so I manned up for you. And I don't mean to be ugly about it, but, like, come on. He sees her
She's
put her
willing to
money where her
sacrifice.
mouth is.
Yeah.
And then, Andrea, now you go, now look, I'm just telling you how convinced I am. Babe, I'm doing this. I did it. You can do it too.
Yeah.
Now, he has two options there. All right? You guys save up, he sells it, and maybe he gets a $10,000 car. So he has to hold on to it, or he gets really serious about paying the current truck off.
That's the other option. And so that's what I wanted to let you know, Andrea, is looking at the numbers, we say the total of all of your vehicles, anything with a motor in it, shouldn't add up to more than half of your income. And right now, those cars are butting up right against the line, and it makes me uncomfortable. And I like the leapfrog going, hey, we can clean this up so much faster. And instead of a 2-year journey, this could be a 1-year journey. And so I love that for you guys if that's the vision you have. But we say if you can pay it off within 2 years, it's okay to keep it if it's within those parameters. And making $150, you guys could pay off this debt in 2 years, but I think one of you should sell the car and have that level of sacrifice. I wish it was him. I don't know that we can get him there just through a phone call.
What's the payment on your SUV? On yours, Andrea?
It is about, it's probably $650 a month.
Yeah, so keep in mind that not only are you selling it and you're going to go buy a $10,000 SUV, that $650 a month goes towards paying off his truck. That might get him all in.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, which that would be your next smallest debt. Now, are the student loans split up? Are they a bunch of smaller ones?
No, I actually consolidated. They're all mine when I went back and got my doctorate degree right before COVID.
Okay, so it's one $45,000 debt.
Yeah, it is one $45,000 debt. Correct.
All right. Well, I like this plan so far, is at least selling your SUV, using the $650 towards the truck. And by the way, there's going to be other sacrifices in your budget you guys need to make. And it means, hey, you're not going to eat out. Sorry, hubby. Right now, we're focused. We're making food at home. We're cutting subscriptions. We're cutting all the luxuries right now because right now we are not living in luxury. We're living in stress. And if you're taking on the burden of that stress and he doesn't feel it, you need to sit down and have a real honest conversation and say, I'm not okay.
Absolutely.
I'm not doing well. And we're in this together. I need you to have just as much skin in the game.
Speaking of skin in the game, Andrea, I want to know, is he willing to work a part-time job or sell a bunch of stuff? Have you had that part of the conversation? If he gets to keep his truck, then this is what he has to do. Have you guys talked about that? And can he do that to add more to the $600 plus that your SUV payment is now going to be applied to that truck? Can he do more there?
We have not discussed that, no.
That needs to be discussed.
I think more discussion all around is going to be good for you guys.
I wish he was on the phone right now. I'd be guilting him into all kinds of stuff. He needs to be selling stuff, working, because here's where I'm going, George. I'd like to see how much we could juice the $600 plus car payment that we're going to put towards the truck that's coming off of her SUV. What if we got to $1,000, $1,200 a month towards the truck, and then 6, 8, 10 months from now he can sell that truck, pocket enough to be able to, you know what I mean? Or just pay the thing off really fast and keep the truck. I want to try to motivate him by keeping the truck, but he's got to pay it off fast.
How quickly do you think you could pay off $26,000 if you freed up that payment? You guys got intense.
Oh, I think we could definitely do it. Yes, absolutely. We could do it very quickly.
Less than 6 months?
Yeah, I think we could.
Ooh.
I think that's our carrot. We're going to dangle that in front of Hubs. You get to keep the truck.
That's a good one.
You get to keep the truck, but you got to pay it off.
And Andrea, I'm going to gift you Financial Peace University and see if he'll go through this with you. Watch all 9 lessons together. Don't do this on your own any longer. And we're going to gift that to you if you can convince him to actually sit there and watch it with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to try my best.
All right. Appreciate you for calling in and being honest with us. Better days are ahead. And I tell you what else is ahead, George.
What's that?
More of America's calls.
I should have known.
More breakthrough, more transformation, because there's more of the Ramsey Show coming up.
If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com.
Helping you get unstuck and become unstoppable. This is the Ramsey Show. I'm Kid Coleman, joined by George Camel. We're here to answer your questions about your life, your money, your work, your relationships. They're all intertwined, and we want to give you some practical steps so that you have hope, and then that you have a clear path forward for that transformation that you desire. Orange County, California, one of my favorite places, George. No bugs.
Beautiful over there.
No bugs out there.
Didn't realize that.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably not completely accurate, but I don't ever remember sitting outside ever feeling like there were gnats and mosquitoes, like we have here.
Could be a
Southeast.
Tennessee problem.
Yeah, I like it. Tom is there in Orange County. Tom, how can we help?
Hey there, how's it going?
Good. How can we help, Tom?
So I'm trying to figure out, once I have the financial means to buy a house, should I go right into doing that? Because I'm kind of sick of paying rent out here, and I'm trying to figure out, if I don't buy a house, where I should invest and kind of what the next best move is.
Okay, so you're saying when I have the money, is it wise to buy a house, or should I just keep renting even if I have the money to purchase?
Yeah, or how much money should I have additionally compared to what I have to put down for the house for savings and for other things like that, for security and everything.
Kind of the new levels, new devils of home ownership and all the things that go along with that.
Exactly, yep.
So how much do you have saved right now?
$100,000.
Awesome. Do you have any debt?
Nope.
And do you have an emergency fund on top of the 100, or does that include everything you have?
I have that, and then I have $30,000 in an IRA.
In an IRA?
Yep.
Okay, so that's retirement. So we're not going to count that. We're not going to touch any retirement funds. And how old are you?
25.
25. Way to go. What's your household income?
$300,000.
Wow. All right, this is all looking good to me so far, Tom. So have you started looking at the prices of homes that you'd want to buy? Something reasonable?
Yep. So it would be. So here's another thing. So I live with my girlfriend, and so we have $200,000.
Oh boy.
So we're trying to figure out: do we keep renting? Do we get married first? Do we buy a house? Just rent out in California is so outrageous that it just seems like it makes sense to buy.
I want to jump in here. I want to jump in here.
Uncle Ken is jumping in.
Yeah, George is all over the money stuff, but what does the we look like? Were you planning to put a ring on it and marry this gal, or is it just kind of, well?
Yep, so that's the plan.
When?
We're not engaged or anything yet, so the marriage would come a couple of years.
Is this a 1-year plan, or is it a 5-year plan? What are you thinking?
I would say we're married in 2 to 3 years.
Okay. What's behind that? What's behind the 2 to 3 years?
I think just kind of the planning of the wedding and kind of just getting everything together. And
whoa, you're living together now.
We're super busy right now, and
you guys live together now.
Correct. Yep.
But it's going to take 2 to 3 years to get married.
I mean, could be sooner if we want to. I mean, life's just really busy right now, so I mean, it could be. Ideally, yeah, that's what I think it will be.
Yeah. I'm going to challenge how busy you are. I got 3 kids. You don't even know what busy is. Okay? I don't even want to hear it. All right? I'll say that with all love. All right, George. Cranky old man is done.
Okay.
I think he needs to be committing. Let's commit. Let's get married. Combine those budgets, George.
Yes.
Combine those numbers.
I'm with Ken on this. I don't think – definitely do not buy a house together. That is a terrible, terrible plan that will end in heartache for a lot of people and financial turmoil. So if you are going to get married, then sure, once you're married, buy a house together. But if you're saying, hey, I'm going to buy a house, I don't know that you're ready in the next year to buy a house because I'm assuming Orange County home prices are, you're talking, what, $850 for a starter home?
Yeah, the median's at $950 right now.
Okay.
Wow.
And so you're looking at, now you don't need that. You could buy a condo, right? What do condos go for?
Yeah, you're probably still looking at maybe $650 to $850 in that range, maybe a little less.
Okay. So once we figure out here's what I'm aiming for, and if you want the single family, that's fine, but it may take an extra 2-3 years to save up for that with a down payment. And so we've got a great calculator over at RamseySolutions.com that you can use, the mortgage calculator, where you pop in the home value, pop in your down payment, and I want you to do this on a 15-year fixed rate mortgage because your life is too precious and life is too short to have a mortgage hanging around your neck for 30 years. And so with a 15-year mortgage, it's paid off in 15 years, worst case scenario. And I want that payment to be no more than a quarter of your take-home pay. So what is your take-home pay now, just after taxes, before any other deductions?
After taxes, so it's a little confusing just because it's sales, and so every paycheck's a little bit different. Maybe between $10,000 and $20,000, so it's kind of a wide range.
Okay. So you'd be looking, let's take the average, whatever your tax returns were, and go, all right, that's going to be, I'm going to divide that by 12 and then divide that by 4 again to get my 25% of the take-home pay number. And that kind of starts to give you a picture of, all right, I need this payment to be $3,000 max. And then that dictates, here's how much down payment I need to have in order to make this very reasonable. Because your life, you have other things in your life too, other than your house payment. You want to live, you want to go on vacation, you're going to need to upgrade the car, there's home maintenance costs. And once you're married, the income's going to go up, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I like the plan of continuing to save up. Let's see, make it some aggressive goals. Can I save up $100,000 in the next 12 months? $150,000. And then when you guys are married, man, now we're making, how much does she make?
90, so it'd be $390.
So now we're making close to $400,000, which changes the numbers of what we could afford as far as housing goes. And maybe she saved up some money because she was living the debt-free lifestyle. And now we can get the single-family home 6 months after we're married, and that changes the picture.
So then with the condo, would you say sell that, or then you would just keep?
You could upgrade
that and rent that
you could
out,
upgrade later, but again, I don't want to rush into any of this stuff. With $100,000, and you're still going to have to go spend $600,000 on a mortgage. That's a lot of your world tied up right now, especially when you might be saving up for the engagement ring and the wedding and other life expenses. So I would just use that as a filter. For example, me and my wife, we bought a townhome because we didn't want to wait another 5 years to save up for a single-family home in the Nashville area, and so we were okay with that. And that helped us get into a home faster.
In the meantime, where would you invest the $100,000 or additional money that I save?
I would park that in a high-yield savings account for now. You'll get about 3%, which I know is like, well, I could do better in the market. Yeah, well, the market, if you've been paying attention, also has not been doing so hot up until about 4 seconds ago. And so I don't want you losing this money with a short time horizon, which is what you have ahead of you. You said, hey, 2 to 3 years, I'm probably looking at buying a house, getting married. So I don't want it in a riskier investment in the market where you might be down $20,000 when you go to make that purchase. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling a little bit of that right now.
Yeah, you don't want that anxiety of trying to time the market.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You also need to.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I want you to talk to your girlfriend and find out what kind of wedding she's wanting and all that. I'm dead serious. I would be finding out, what is her vision for a wedding? Does it really need to be 2 to 3 years? Because listen, I have a little extra homework assignment for you, Tom. I want you to go look up the value, the health value, the financial value of being married. The benefits of being married are so transformational when people realize, if you just look at the data,
And you're not just talking about a tax benefit.
No. I'm saying like they're happier, they make better money, they're healthier. And you guys are already living together. You're playing house. Let's make it official, man, and go get that house. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's a good word, Ken.
But, I'm not trying to force that on anybody.
No,
I'm just saying, forget your religious views for a moment. Just look at the socioeconomic, the health, the financial, all that. There's real benefit in being married.
There was a recent study that showed married couples are way more likely to build real wealth.
Oh, there you go. See? More data.
Just one more reason.
Something to think about. I don't know. Plus, it's just better. Just
Agreed.
Better having a relationship. All right. Hey, we're just getting started. More calls. People are lining up. Don't move. The Ramsey Show is right around the corner. Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman. I'm joined by my colleague, George Kimmel. And we are here for you. The phone number to jump in is 888-825-5225. It is a free call. That's 888-825-5225. Columbus, Ohio is where we're going to go next. Christina is there. Christina, how can we help?
Hi. I'm wondering today if me and my husband should sell our truck. So it's worth $30,000 to $33,000, and we make $75K a year. So we're right at that half of our yearly income.
You guys just have one vehicle?
We have the truck, and then my husband drives a car that's only worth about like $2,000.
Okay, is that the kind of just beater to get around? So what do you drive?
Yeah. I'm driving the truck right now.
Oh, okay.
How much do you owe on the truck?
The truck is paid off.
Oh, wow.
So what is selling the truck going to do for you?
Well, we found a truck for $20K, and if we went through the dealership and did a trade-in, we'd make $7K in profit, and so we would use that to finish up baby steps 3.
Okay, how much further? Let's say you didn't do any of this. How long would it take to get through baby step 3?
Yeah, we think only about 5 or 6 months.
Okay, so what you're gaining here is 5 months of some sacrifice of saving up the rest of the emergency fund.
Yeah.
And so you're losing some of the luxuries of a slightly nicer truck. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The truck that we looked at would have double the amount of miles on it, which is the biggest concern.
Which could then have repairs.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not so sold on this.
I would not. I would keep hustling.
And you're talking to the guys that are always like, sell the truck.
Yeah,
absolutely.
you and I tend to like to sell the cars
We
quickly.
love it. But there's no payment on the truck, and so you're not freeing up any cash flow there. And you are gaining some time. But I don't think this is, looking at the numbers here, the scenario, nothing's on fire here.
No.
And so if you're just at the end of the rope going, I can't keep going with these baby, I just want to be done with baby step 3, it's okay. You're not doing anything wrong. But you're not in a place where you have to do that. I would rather go get some side jobs, work overtime in order to speed baby step 3 up, sell other stuff versus downgrade in truck for a slight profit. That's just one man's opinion.
I'm with you, actually, George.
Two man's opinion.
Two men. Listen, that truck, I'm going to tell you something. You double the miles on the truck, and all of a sudden you're eating into that emergency fund pretty quickly. It could happen.
That's my worry, is that $7K in profit disappears 8 months from now.
Yeah.
Because it needed some work done.
Yeah. How would you feel, Christina, if you didn't sell this truck, and let's fast forward 6 more months, and you got that truck, and you've got the emergency fund fully funded, and now you realize, hey, we can actually start a replacement fund for my husband's $2,000 car. So I'm going to have a nice truck. We're going to upgrade him. Oh, and by the way, we have a fully funded emergency fund. How would that feel?
That would be great. The other concern I had with that, though, was so then say his car lasts 2 years would be our plan to be able to buy like a $10,000-$15,000 one. Then we would be over our half of our yearly income.
Well, the truck is going to go down in value as well, and you're probably going to be making more money 2 years from now.
That's true.
And so I think that would be a wash at that point. And it's not a legalistic thing where, hey, it's at 51. It's not about that. It's just we don't want too much of your world wrapped up in things that go down in value, which this for sure will. So I think you're going to be making more money and you're doing the right things. You can upgrade to a reasonable car. And by then, if you want to sell the truck and get something different when you're debt-free, you can do that. You can upgrade and truck and spend less on a nicer truck. Whatever you want to do, the world is your oyster at that point. But as far as doing this to accelerate the baby steps, I just don't see it being worth it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the call, Christina. Let's go now to Raleigh, North Carolina. Aaron is on the line. Aaron, how can we help?
Hey, so I just recently started listening to the show and just trying to figure out baby steps and just trying to figure out where I'm at in those. It's a little overwhelming at first. I feel like I've got a couple different things in each step and just not sure where to go from here.
All right. Well, first of all, thanks for listening and staying with us and trusting us to call in. So give George a rundown of what you mean by I've got a few things in several of the steps. Paint that financial picture for him.
So other than the mortgage, we have about $27,000 in debt. Some of that is student loans, some of that's on a car. We also have the 3 to 6 months of expenses saved up for an emergency fund. And then we also have some investing as well in a Roth IRA and then as well in some mutual funds.
Okay. So you're doing a lot of good things. You're just doing it all at once, and so you're not feeling the progress that you feel like you should be making.
Right.
Would that be accurate?
Yeah.
Okay. How much do you have in savings? Liquid cash. How much do you have out there?
We have about $20,000.
Okay. And how much are you investing right now as a percentage of your income?
So the only thing that we're investing currently is in the Roth IRA, $500 a month.
Okay. So let's just say for a short period of time, we paused all investing. That gets you $500 a month back in your life, right?
Uh-huh.
That's $6,000 a year. You have $20,000 in the bank. And so if you're following the baby steps, what we would teach is you have $1,000 in your starter emergency fund. You have that. In fact, you have 19 extra. And so baby step 2, we're paying off all consumer debt using the debt snowball. So we're listing them out smallest to largest, all of our debts, paying minimum payments on everything but the first one and attacking it with a vengeance. And by with a vengeance, I mean all of the money you have except for that $1,000 emergency fund. So now you're 27 minus 19. What does that go down to? 8.
8, yes.
And now with the extra $500 a month, we're going to be able to pay that 8 off really quickly.
Right.
And so think about that is you're completely debt free a few months from now. Now we're at the point to rebuild that emergency fund to 3 to 6 months of expenses. Then we can move back and unpause the investing and hit play on that. But now we're at a very different place, aren't we? Because we freed up all of those payments. So now we're not just investing $500. We can invest $1,000. We can double that. And so do you see the kind of momentum that gets created by following the baby steps in order?
Yeah, for sure. I think it feels overwhelming when we've had that amount of savings and then to have to cut it down to 1,000.
That is one of the most painful things.
It's scary.
But what else is scary is owing other people money and not sleeping well at night and having to make those payments every single month of your hard-earned money to a lender with interest.
Right.
And so do the math on what you're paying in interest. Do the math on what those payments could do if they was back in your life. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden I go, it's a lot scarier to be in debt than to have not a lot of money in the bank. Because truthfully, it's a false reality that you have $20,000 in the bank when you have 27 in debt.
And Aaron, I've got a question for you. Do you recall how long it took to get the $20,000 in the emergency fund? Roughly.
Maybe, I don't know, a year maybe.
Okay, so in the year it took you to get your current savings up to $20,000, life was still going on, yes or no?
Yeah.
So my point is when you do what George told you to do, you're still going to be okay. There's nothing to be afraid of.
And you're going to build up that 20 way faster than a year.
A lot faster.
Because you have way more margin now once you're debt-free.
Right.
And way more intensity because you feel exactly what you just said. I don't feel safe not having the money in the bank. Good. Let that fuel you to really be safe for the first time, to have what we call financial peace.
Yep.
So we are cheering you on. Can I give you a gift before we go?
Sure.
Okay. I want to gift you 1 year of Financial Peace University. And go watch all 9 lessons in there. With that, we're going to give you Every Dollar Premium, our budgeting tool, to help you make a plan. And I want you to call us back when you're debt-free so we can celebrate with you.
Okay, wow.
That's all I ask.
Can I ask one more quick question?
Sure.
So once I'm on the other side of that debt, which hopefully will be very soon, as far as paying down a mortgage, how do you know how quickly and how...
That is a choose-your-own adventure, Aaron. I want you to do it faster than 15 years, and you'll be able to when you have no debt in the world. But be investing 15%. Any extra margin beyond that, you can start throwing at the house, and you'll get there in no time following this plan.
Thank you, Aaron, for the call. Love when we have new listeners calling in. George Goodhour, thanks to the guys behind the glass for keeping us on the air. And to you, America, this is your show. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey, folks, Ken Coleman here. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Get your daily dose of advice on life and money. Check out all of our shows from The Ramsey Network wherever you listen to podcasts. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. This is The Ramsey Show, where we talk about your life, your money, your work, and your relationships with you. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by George Camel. Thrilled to have you with us. The phone number to jump in is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Phone lines are lighting up. You could still get in, so let's go. I'll be talking to you about work-related issues. We'll talk about relationship issues. We'll talk about your money, of course. So let's go. We go to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Tammy is there. Tammy, how can we help?
Hey, good afternoon. Calling to see if you can help. I have a situation that just seems to not exactly be improving. I've got an aunt that this is the third time now, just recently. She's messaged me asking for money because they're tight on cash. The past 2 times that she's asked, it's been like $1,000 here and there. And she's paid it back when she has. The first time she offered interest, second time she just paid back the full amount. But I'm just getting to the point where I don't feel comfortable. How much longer do I keep doing this? The story just keeps dragging out. Like, there doesn't seem to be an end to it.
No, there won't be either, because you're a bank for her. You know, she came to you the first time. I will say this: I'm pleasantly surprised that she's paid you back both times.
That's the most shocking part.
I was really surprised to hear that. But she's not going to change her habits, because she knows, or at least she believes up to this very moment, that when she gets in a tight pinch, she comes and tells you a story and she plays on your emotions and you help her out. But the fact of the matter is, this isn't about her. This is about you and your life, and you're not feeling good about it. So, you know, the answer is Aunt Peggy, or whatever her name is, I'll just call her that. You know, I'm not giving you money anymore. I don't feel good about it.
So,
and I'm not going to do it.
I definitely, I'm not going to. I feel like this is the time that I say no to her. But how do I do that?
Very clearly.
How do I say no?
You can do it kindly, but do it firmly.
Yeah. You don't have to be a jerk about it.
Okay.
And Tammy, you are not a jerk. You are a very nice person.
But Tammy, what you're actually afraid of is not what you're going to say. It's how she's going to react.
That's exactly right. You are really worried about it.
Exactly.
And that is something that is completely out of your control. And so the hardest thing to do about this whole situation is letting go the idea that you have control of the outcome. Because she could say, well, we're family, and I can't believe you would do this to me, and oh my gosh, you're dead to me now. and she severs the relationship. That's really a worst-case scenario, right?
Yep.
But if the entire relationship was based on these transactions, there was no relationship to begin with.
Exactly.
Well,
yeah, and that's sort of how I'm feeling.
Well, Tammy, here's the deal. I think here's your choice. Would you rather disappoint Aunt Peggy, or would you rather resent her?
Yeah, I'm starting to resent her.
No, I know. I'm asking you to answer the question. This is a would you rather, and it's rather mild. All right? Would you rather disappoint her by saying kindly but firmly, as George said it very clearly, not going to give you money anymore? Would you rather disappoint her, or would you rather resent her more than you already resent her? Which one do you want to choose? Long term.
Yeah, I'd rather disappoint her.
That's the choice.
And our friend Dr. John Deloney quotes another psychologist when he says, choose guilt over resentment every time.
Yeah. That's the choice.
Yep.
Because the resentment is a poison. The guilt we can deal with. But that resentment is going to sever the relationship more than anything. And so it's going to be a hard conversation. We're not trying to belittle that. Don't mince the words. Just say, I'm so sorry. I can no longer provide money for you. I'd love to help you get on a budget and give you some resources to do that. Maybe you gift her the Total Money Makeover. We'll gift one to you if you think she'll read it. But if she's not willing to deal with the underlying behaviors, then you're just an enabler in this situation.
Exactly, and I definitely don't want to be that. So do you recommend, because this is like she's always requested the money over text, and it's just an easy transaction, obviously.
Yeah, text it.
Do I text her back, or is this like a phone call situation? Do you recommend?
Sure, call. I think next time she texts you, you give her a call and explain.
Yeah.
Because over text, there's no tone. And so it's easy to take things the wrong way. I'd much rather say, I wanted to jump on a call real quick. I know you sent me the text. Here's the situation.
That's a very good point. But, I mean, here's the deal. You have to start this conversation by saying, hey, this is going to be very difficult. This is not an easy thing for me to do, but I've decided. You need to use words like that. So before we actually lay it out there, she understands exactly what's going on.
And if she senses any weakness, she's going to pounce.
I promise you. That's a great point. Like, Tammy, you have to be decided. Yeah, like you have, before you even have the conversation, you got to go, it doesn't matter what she says, what she does, how she reacts. I am choosing this for me. And I've made the choice. The decision's been made. This is all about communicating a decision. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, it does. That's definitely.
And Tammy, listen to me. No, because there's nothing more on this, because you keep coming back. You're so concerned about what she's going to do, and I get it. But here's what you need to understand, Tammy, that no matter what your aunt does or says as a result of this, you are not a bad person.
Okay.
I want you to say that right now. I am not a bad person. Say it.
I am not a bad person.
All right. Then believe it. And, George, this is why, for years, decades, Dave, and now we carry that torch, this money, loaning family members money, getting involved in money issues, it just, it's a recipe for disaster.
Thanksgiving is already awkward enough.
Isn't it true?
Between politics and sports, let's not bring money into it and go, hey, you remember you owe me that money, Aunt?
Yeah.
And she, I was going to get it to you.
Yeah.
And now she starts avoiding you.
Yeah.
It just breaks my heart how many relationships
get it. Let's be very clear. I get Tammy, who knows we didn't dig into what the relationship is, is it the sister of, whatever. But, this idea of disappointing any family member is very, very difficult to think about.
Agreed.
But then you're worried about the damage they're going to do. Why are they going to go tell half the side of the family? You're not going to believe this. It's just like you feel like it's a no-win situation.
Agreed.
And that's not the case.
There's a reason she went to her niece. She knows other people in her life are going to go, kick rocks and pound sand. I'm not just going to keep giving you money. But when it comes to Tammy's a very nice person.
Very nice.
And, there's a book out there called No More Mr. Nice Guy. And it's for people who tend to be people pleasers. And they want to make people happy. They don't want to make people feel bad. They want to be liked. And that can cause us to do things that cause us to be resentful.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those people pleasers, recovering.
Have you read the book?
I have.
Yeah, you like it?
Amazing read.
Yeah, there you go. There's a good recommendation right there for those of you who feel that, because that's a tough bond to break, where you feel bonded to family or friends that you always have to say yes. Ooh, it's tough.
That's one of the hardest things.
But
we're not trying to belittle it, but it's as simple as it sounds and as hard as it sounds.
Yeah, really tough stuff. Well, Tammy, thank you so much for calling in and trusting us, and hang in there. Do what's best for you. Choose you in this situation and let the chips fall where they may. Thanks again for the call. He is George Kamel. I'm Ken Coleman, and this is The Ramsey Show.
Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information.
Welcome back, America. You are joining the conversation here on The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman. George Kamel joins me in studio this hour. We're here for you. The phone number is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. And I can't even believe I'm about to say this, George. All right?
I'm nervous.
Yeah, Christmas is almost here. Can you believe it? It really is. I know. We haven't
Fair statement.
We haven't even carved the turkey yet, but I mean, I'm at home last night, fire going, and what is my 13-year-old daughter watching? A Hallmark Christmas movie.
Is the tree up?
The tree's not up. That's this weekend, though. We're getting way ahead of the game.
I thought you were
here.
enabling this behavior.
Well, first of all, you're newly married. So, you know, the Christmas movies is a rite of passage. The Hallmark stuff is a rite of passage for most women, and it's fine. It's a little too much for me.
Yeah. Well, they're so predictable for me. I can't.
A little too cheesy, a little too mushy, But we have some lady. Oh, there's a lady in the lobby that's getting up and leaving. That was such a controversial statement. She's like, I cannot handle any more criticism of the Hallmark movies.
You'll get canceled by the Hallmark fans, Ken.
Well, Hallmark's wonderful. There you go. All right. So the point is, Christmas is around the corner. And that means that our $10 sale is the perfect thing for you, people who need some ideas, and you need to keep it in the budget. All right? $10 sale. It's bigger than ever. If you want to spread some life-changing cheer, how do you like that? Life-changing cheer.
The alliteration was top-notch.
Yeah, that's what I do. Then you can get some amazing deals like Dave's bestseller, Baby Steps Millionaires. Or if you'd like to help my kids have a Christmas this year, you can buy my latest bestseller, From Paycheck to Purpose. I felt like I put a little extra emotional push on that.
It's a double whammy.
One.
You get something, and the Coleman kids get something.
Coleman's get a little something. Not much, because it's $10. You're getting the book for $10, man. I worked hard on that thing. But all of those offers are there at RamseySolutions.com, including Questions for Humans, all these different conversation cards. They got 75 of them now.
I can't
Every
keep up with the
conversation you could possibly imagine. Questions for Humans who live in the North Pole. That's the latest edition, so that's very exciting. You can get all of those great deals, only $10, the biggest $10 sale we've ever had, just in time for Christmas at RamseySolutions.com. All right, Colby's up in Huntsville, Alabama. Colby, how can we help?
Hey, guys. Great to talk to you. I'm a huge fan of the show.
Oh, thank you, sir. How can we help today?
So I just recently graduated from college back in May. I started my, first real job. So now that I've been saving up money, I am curious as to, my next purchase is probably 3-ish years down the road is when I want to put a down payment on a house. And so right now I'm just piling money in my savings account. And I was wondering if I should take out everything but maybe the 3 to 6 months expenses that I should use as my emergency fund and then put the rest of that in mutual fund.
Well, you said 3 years. Is that a hard deadline for you?
It is not. It's not. It probably won't be any sooner than that, but it's not like 3 years I have to be out of where I'm currently living.
Okay. Well, our general thoughts on putting money into the market is it's long-term, which means 3 years from now, you could be losing money, and that scares me. Now, over the course of history, we've seen in any 3-year span, you hopefully have gained some, but as we saw in the last year, the market was down. I mean, it was hemorrhaging money. And so my worry is, looking at Colby from 3 years ago, he puts his money in 3 years ago, and he looks up today, and he's lost 25% instead of gained 8%. And so that is my worry with you investing this into the market versus parking this money in a high-yield savings account, which the good news is high-yield savings accounts, the interest rates have come back in a big way. They're at about 3% right now. So you have a guaranteed 3% you can make on your money versus a maybe 8 or 10% in the next 3 years on average, or maybe negative 10% return. And so that is my worry for you as you just graduated. You've got a lot of life ahead of you. So I would personally park that in a high yield savings account if I knew I was going to be purchasing a house 3 years from now. How much money are we talking?
So I have about $27,000 in there right now. I was probably going to keep $7,000 out and then do something else with the other $20,000.
Okay, I'd probably keep at least 10 as the emergency fund. And when you start to add up your deductibles on health insurance, are you starting to pay for that stuff yet on your own?
I am, yes.
Okay, and then car repairs. You have a reliable car right now?
I do.
Okay, yeah. I'd probably take. You said you got the 27. I'd probably take 10 and keep it in the emergency fund and put 17 in the high yield. I mean, you can keep the whole thing in the high yield if you want. I like to park a little chunk of it in my savings account attached to my checking so that you don't have to wait for a transfer to happen if you're getting a bind.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
But a lot of wisdom for a recent grad, Ken. I like that.
Well, it's just a good sign. There's one more indicator that,
yes.
People, they kind of take shots at young people, the next generation, blah, 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 and all this kind of stuff. And the fact is there's eagles, there's thoroughbreds in every generation.
He's got more emotional maturity than people twice his age.
Yeah,
now,
really
the caveat is be sure you're debt-free as well. We didn't ask about that. The way he was talking, it just sounded like he was debt-free.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Sharp young man.
You're very sharp. Hey, real quick before we get back to the phones, we have a fun little segment coming up. We tried this last week. What are we doing, George? Tell people really quick.
This is a segment we have officially coined 10 in 10.
10
and here's
in 10.
the idea. In our 10-minute segment coming up at 2:30 Central Time, I'm going to go live on my personal Instagram while we are live on the Ramsey Show.
That's right.
And we are specifically going to answer questions from the Instagram live chat. The idea is a lightning round. We are answering these quickly, and we have to get to 10 questions in 10 seconds or else James fires us.
10 minutes.
In 10
we
minutes.
We did this last week, so this week we're doing it from George's Instagram. We did it from mine last week. So at George Camel.
With a K. K-A-M-E-L.
K-A-M-E-L at George Camel. So you need to go follow him. You need to get over there because coming up in about 10 minutes, we're going to go live on Instagram. It's going to be big fun.
You never know what's going to happen over there on Instagram.
Well, we did it last time. Had a lot of fun.
What was on your account? You have nicer people following you.
Oh.
I've got a lot of trolls following me.
Well, but they follow you because you're so snarky.
Well, it's called a hate follow.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a new thing among the youth that you need to know about.
Is that what I need to know about? Okay, fantastic. Well, I'm not going to hate you back. George might, but he has deep neurotic issues, so that's okay.
Also true.
All right, let's go to Tampa, Florida, where Dimitri joins us. Dimitri, how can we help?
Hey, how are you guys doing? First-time caller here.
Oh, well, fantastic. Thanks for calling. What's going on?
Well, I'm 37. I just paid off my house.
Woo!
And,
whoa!
I know, right?
Way to go.
Thank you. Debt-free and just need to know what the next step in building personal wealth is.
Wow.
That's
a fun one, George. What does he do?
Well, what's your net worth?
Net worth? If I had to put a number on it, I'd say about $500,000.
Incredible. So what's the house worth?
It's probably about $400,000.
Awesome. And you got about another 100 in investments in cash?
I would call it assets.
Okay. Well,
not investments. I've maxed out my Roth for the last 2 years, so So there's about currently about 11 in there, and about another 90 in musical equipment. I'm a pianist.
Oh, very cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, your next steps are simply to continue to build wealth and give. And so the way I look at it is a really great filter to use. There's only 3 things you can do with money: give, save, and spend. So I would allocate some to giving, because that will keep your hand open, which is what we want when it comes to money, because giving is the most fun you can have with money. I'd allocate some for spending. You're a very driven guy, and so that tells me you probably don't spend a ton on yourself, do you? Do you go on fun vacations and buy more gear?
I travel.
Good. And then the other part is save and invest. And so continue doing that. Right now you're heavy on the home side as far as your net worth goes. I want to see the investment side grow as well. And so you might want to upgrade in house years from now. And so start saving up for that. You can invest in index funds or mutual funds for that, or put in a high yield savings account. But it's that simple. Not much to it, Ken. I mean, this is the good stuff. This is when you have total freedom with your income. Every dollar that comes in stays with you. Yeah. You tell it what to do, where to go, and the world is your oyster. It's an incredible feeling.
Dimitri, this is incredible.
37.
Oh, my goodness. Did you give him Baby Steps Millionaires?
We should. Let's gift him a copy of Dave's bestseller.
Hang on the line, Dimitri. George and I love to give away Dave's stuff.
Especially when he doesn't know about it.
You are the recipient. Hang on. This is The Ramsey Show.
Life is full of firsts. As the first and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
Welcome back, America. You've joined the conversation about your life, specifically your money, your work, your relationships. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by George Kamel, and this is a new segment here on The Ramsey Show. If you're new to us, then you will be equally as new as the segment if you've been with us a while. This is called 10 and 10, so we got to get to it. We're going to try to answer 10 questions in 10 minutes in this segment, and it's lightning round, and we're doing it on Instagram only. So if you want to head on over to George Kamel's Instagram account, we did this last week together, and it was on my account. This time it's on George Kamel's account, at George Kamel, with a K, Kamel.
Good call.
And we're live right now, George.
Hello.
Take it away. We're taking only questions from Instagram. The tally starts now. Go, George.
Okay, we got one from Andrea here. How do you prioritize paying off the house versus saving for kids' college when both seem urgent? Ooh, that's an interesting one. Well, it depends on the kid's age. If they're about to go to college, let's focus on making sure they go to college debt-free. If the kids are 1 year old and you can start saving in an ESA or 529, then I'm okay putting more of that margin onto the house. So it all depends on how old the kids are, how urgent it is, how expensive the schooling is, but do it debt-free.
All right, Amel, step 3. I'm a stay-at-home mom wanting to make extra money. I teach memory tricks to kids. I teach on I'm not going to try to endorse anything. So she teaches on an online platform. How do I stand out? Okay, here's how you stand out. You stand out by doing a really, really good job of helping one student, then the next student, then the next student, then the next student. You know, so many times entrepreneurs, people that want to start something on the side, you're trying to go big. And the only way you go big is by being good. Mm-hmm. So be good for 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't worry about scaling it. Keep showing up and keep delivering value.
Don't despise humble beginnings.
By the way, we're up to 2 now.
All right. Cameron asks, which single stock or crypto should I invest in? That one is easy. Neither. Neither. Don't invest in these volatile investments. Stick to the boring stuff like mutual funds, index funds, your 401k, your Roth IRAs. Do not mess with single stocks or crypto. Your life is too important.
Chris Wimmer says, what career advice do you have for someone retiring from the military this year after a 20-year career? Well, first of all, Chris, thank you for your service to our country. You are a great American. Second, I want you to be looking into your military career for clues and direction. Specifically, what skills did you acquire and deliver on in the military in 20 years? Secondly, what experience that you have in the military of 20-year career can you translate over to the private sector? A lot of people who retire from the military, George, feel like it's not transferable. Your skills and experience are transferable. The final piece is, what type of work did you really love? And if you didn't love any type of work, what kind of work do you really want to do? How do your skills and experience set you up? And if you need some additional qualification, go do it. But you can do it, and you should. Again, thank you, Chris.
Beautifully said. We've got one from TGRNDKIE. We want to start the baby steps, but we need help with budgeting. Where do we start? Well, it's super easy. Go download the EveryDollar app, and it will walk you through how to set up your budget. You can do this online as well, everydollar.com. You'll list out your income, followed by your expenses. Your income minus expenses should equal zero. We call that a zero-based budget, and that helps you start to figure out as you track it, do we need to make some cuts? How do we find more margin? Do we need more income? That's what Ken helps you do as well. And so that's going to be a great start. Message me. I can send you some resources on that as well.
All right, next is Mega Neva Joyce. Boy, that's a tough one. Not sure if that's phonetically correct, but that's my shot. My annual review is coming up in a few months. Any tips on boosting my chances for a decent raise?
Like that.
Well, let me tell you this. You can't help your boss determine how much you will get. That's going to be over your head. Here's what you want to do. You want to set yourself up to where you're having an current and an ongoing conversation about a raise. And we don't ask for a raise, George. We ask for a growth plan. It looks like this. Here's the conversation. Hey, listen, I really like being here, and I want to continue to grow here. And specifically, I'd like you as my leader to help me develop a growth plan that includes what are some things that I could be doing better in my current role. 2, what are some skills and experience that I could add to my tool belt to make me more valuable? And then 3, how do we measure that so that I can get more responsibility and more compensation? I'd like to let you write that out for me. Let's get together on this because I want to be held accountable because I want to win. That's how you go after the raise.
That's a good one. All right, back to a money question from David Busby. Do you count maxing out an HSA as part of the 15% that we talk about in Baby Step 4? I max my Roth, contribute to a 401k, but would like to max the HSA next. Love the question. HSA is a health savings account, and it's not part of your 15% of investing for retirement in Baby Step 4 because it only can be used towards qualified medical expenses. So your HVAC goes out. You need a car repair done. Well, you can't use your HSA, and so we're not going to count that, but I love the idea of maxing it out, but only once you are in Baby Step 7, because the rest of the margin, you still need to pay off the house early, you need to start saving for kids' college, so there's a time and place for it, but big fan of the HSA.
Lisa X97 asks, is it realistic to start a second career after retiring from your first career at 50? Yes, it's realistic. In fact, I think it would be a lot of fun. What a fun journey to take that first career and the skills and experience that you acquired and then put it to something that you actually have always wanted to do because you don't have to work. Now you get to work. I say go for it. You still have many chapters left to write.
I love that one. Here's a fun one. Advice for newlyweds with finances from Caleb. Well, number one, getting on the same page with money. That is the foundation of all of this. If you're not on the same page, you're going different directions, it's not going to end well. So number one, do a budget together, and you both need to have a say in what goes into the budget. And so one person can kind of own it, but you got to make tweaks to it. The free spirits, the nerds need to come together on this. And number two, set a vision and set goals for both of you, not just one of you. Where do we want to see ourselves 5 years from now? We want to be out of debt. We want to have a paid-for house. We want to get the down payment. Whatever that is, be aiming towards that together and have fun. Make sure that you both have some fun money in the budget for each of you to enjoy, to do the things you love to do.
James, how many questions are we up to so far?
That was 9, so you have one more.
Okay, I feel like we need a little fun one here. Okay, right. This is very relevant right now. This is from Courtney Gwynn 09. Pumpkin pie or pecan pie? Oh, George, you first.
Pecan for me, Ken.
Pecan for me, and a dollop of whipped cream on top.
Just a dollop.
Just
no
a dollop.
more, no less.
Just a dollop.
Oh, this is a fun one for you, Ken. Does maintaining a LinkedIn really matter? And yes, my name is Link That comes from a guy named Link.
Oh, Link, who wants to know what he should do on LinkedIn. Well, Link, you should be on LinkedIn. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful tool for connection and information. But don't rely only on the messaging format from LinkedIn, because here's the deal. Everybody's there for the same reason. Largely for themselves. Nothing wrong with that. However, if you just rely on the LinkedIn messaging to connect to somebody, you might get ignored, because let's be honest, everybody's busy. So here's what I want. Use the information from LinkedIn to make a real life connection. I know where they work, so I can figure out, I can write a handwritten note and mail it. I can call. I can set up a meeting, all the good stuff. So don't rely completely on the messaging, but yes, you should be there.
Here's one from SC Fishing. What's a good emergency fund amount for an $80,000 annual income? Well, the way we look at emergency funds is 3 to 6 months of expenses, and so the income isn't as relevant of a piece of this equation. And so start to look at, hey, what does it take for us to live in a single given month for our basic expenses? Then we can multiply that out. And if you've got risky, irregular income, you're a single income, and you've got 2 people, I would lean it towards the 6 months. If you got 2 stable jobs, not a lot of health concerns, then you can lean it towards that 3 months. And so it all comes down to your expenses. What would it take for you to survive in a given month? And multiply that out.
Real quick before we get to our maybe one more question here. All you people saying it's pecan, you're wrong. All right, and go back to where you were. It's not pecan, it's pecan.
Who raised these people, Ken?
I don't know what's happening in the world today. Holly Larissa, 28, says, should I stay at a job I hate when my husband and I are a month away from starting the home buying process? Now, you've got 2 separate questions here. Should you stay in a job you hate? No. Should you stay in that job until you replace it because you're in the home buying process? Yes. But do not leave the job unless you have something to leave to. You can hang in there a little bit longer until you replace it, but don't leave it without stepping into something else.
Can I just end with this one? Derek Miller said Ken is a gangster, and I just want to point out how that is categorically
false.
Not true.
Yeah, I mean, furthest thing from gangster there is me. Keep in mind.
That's what I said, Ken.
Early
the
in the
trolls
segment,
on my account.
you ever known a gangster to use the word dollop? I don't think so. Also, one more. Braden Wilson, George, he says, ham or turkey? What say you, sir?
Oh, I'm going ham all day long.
No, sir. Turkey. Get a better nap out of that. All right, there it is. 10 and 10. We did way more than 10. Oh,
high fives.
I'm exhausted. We got to take a break. We'll be back, though. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show, America. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by George Camel. Thrilled to have you with us. The phone number to jump in is 888-825-5225. Hey, if you have gone through Financial Peace University, chances are it's because someone else in your life lit a fire under you, or maybe mom and dad or another family member gave it to you as a gift, or maybe your pastor offered it at your church. So you took the class, you started working the baby steps, and now everything's different. You've changed your future and your family tree. And so now you can give someone you care about Financial Peace University and give them the same hope. And with Christmas coming, this is the perfect time to do it. And when you give FPU as a gift, they get more than just a course. They get the premium version of every dollar so they can start living on a budget. So this Christmas, you can give the people you care about the gift that actually matters, hope and freedom. To buy FPU as a gift, go to RamseySolutions.com/GiveFPU. That's RamseySolutions.com/GiveFPU. Good stuff there, George. Have you given it away as a Christmas gift before?
I have. I usually pair it with something else, just so it doesn't feel like, hey, you're not great with money. Here, I'm going to gift it. So I like to pair
very
it
thoughtful
with a little something.
Yeah, well, what would that be? I think people want to hear that idea now.
Let me think what I've done before. I've done some specialty baked goods.
Oh, baked goods. Okay. So like FPU and some goodies.
A heated blanket.
Oh, very nice.
That's a fan favorite.
Wow.
So think of that, something personalized to them.
Yeah, very nice.
On top of the gift.
I like that. Don't be surprised if you don't get a personalized blanket from me this year.
A heated personalized
just with
blanket.
Of course.
Hashtag bless this mess on it.
That's perfect. Let's go to Whitney, who is in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Whitney, how can we help?
Hi, gentlemen. I'm so excited to talk to the Root Beer Float team.
Come on. That's what America is telling us. We are the Root Beer Float. By the way, is George the root beer or is he the vanilla ice cream? Or what am I? Tell us.
I feel like George is the root beer because he's bubbly and fizzly, and Ken, you're definitely like the smooth, rich vanilla.
There it is.
Wow.
The people
Beautifully said.
Wow. So, this analogy continues to take a life of its own, and when you call in and tell us that, well, you're going to have to ask. Which
First
side
time I've been described as fizzy.
I've never felt so good about being called vanilla, though.
Rich as well.
So,
I love
she
that.
really made that feel good, so that's good. All right, Whitney, it's all about you. Thank you for calling. How can we help?
Thanks so much. Okay, so this is a two-parter. The first part is I just want to say thank you to all of you and all that you do. You've been a blessing on our family's life. And, sorry, anything else when you get emotional. We were able to pay off $250,000 of student loan and credit card debt.
Yay, Whitney.
You guys, so thank you so much for all that you do.
That's
awesome. It's an honor to be a part of that. You guys did the hard work. We're so proud of you.
Yeah, you did all the work. Whoa, that's amazing.
Thank you. But so now that we're not working 7 days a week anymore, we haven't been able to plug into a church yet, and we're just trying to figure out what we should do with that 10% tithe and extra giving. Do we just park in a savings account? Do we give it to an organization? Like, especially with the holiday season, like we want to make sure that we're really giving back all of the blessings that God has given to us, but we just don't know what the right way to how to do that is.
It's a great question, and I've been there when I first moved to Nashville, and you're kind of church shopping, as we call it here, which is sad, but there's more churches than people around here. And so what we did, or what I did at the time I was single, is I found local ministries and some national ministries that I really respected. I loved the work they were doing, and I gave there while I was looking around for a church.
Okay, so it's okay because we did listen to like some church podcasts and things like that, but we weren't sure if it should be more focused on your local community or for the time being it's okay to do something that's like has a wider scope.
Yes, I mean I think Scripture is pretty clear that your local church is where that should go once you have that. And you could save it and do it as a lump sum once you find the church. That could be a really cool way to bless them. But in the meantime, number one, we gave up on church shopping. We went, let's just plug in somewhere. We don't need to find something that's to our exact taste, and I get that, you could be in between there. But find something, a local ministry especially, that you appreciate, a nonprofit that is run very well, that you can pour into in this season until you plug into that church. So I love the question, though. Love the heart behind it. Yeah. The fact that you even are grappling with this question is amazing. Yeah. And again, this is not like a salvation issue. You're not going to get dinged on your jewels on the crown in heaven, Ken. This is not that.
No,
that
I mean, listen.
Serious.
This comes down to this is about the spirit of it, and to your point, why you can save that tithe, pull it aside, and then once you choose the church home, then you can go ahead and pay it there, and that's perfectly fine. It's not a bunch of
legalistic
rules. No. So, but I love the question, and I tell you, I love the emotion, the true gratitude that you hear from somebody. They get choked up, because they're just so grateful to have arrived at a destination, and in this situation, it is being debt free, and that's always.
Well,
really,
I can tell Whitney's
really
a generous
nice.
person, and so once you're debt free, on top of the tithe, now you can do offerings, and you can really give outrageously.
That's right.
That's where it gets exciting.
All right, let's go to Mike now in Syracuse, New York. Mike, how can we help?
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Yeah, you bet. What's happening?
So, first-time caller, long-time listener.
Oh, I love this one. That's
well on my way to debt-free living, only because listening to you guys over the years, I appreciate it so much.
You bet.
So my question is, back in my stupid finance times, like 2005, 2007, I made some really dumb business decisions, I feel. I have one outstanding debt from a company I probably shouldn't mention. But so there was like a $37,000 debt balance that I was kind of wheeling with them about 3 years ago. About a year and a half ago, I was working with a company I was trying to settle. I was trying to pitch them like $18,000 to settle on the $37,000. They denied it, we kind of lost contact about a year and a half ago. Recently received a letter from them. They're willing to settle this whole thing for like $5,000. This is a business line of credit. I am the owner of the company. So I'm just need some advice as to if you were me, would you follow through and pay that $5,000 or just tell them to go jump in a lake?
Well, did you take out the amount of debt? The 37?
It's certainly my debt, yes. But as I said, they hadn't contacted me. They kind of, lost communication with them. Wouldn't do the 18. Now coming back for 5. I guess I just need some advice which direction to go.
I would be grateful it's at 5, and I would stop losing sleep over it and pay them the 5 and move on with my life. But I would not just ignore this and tell them to kick rocks and pound sand. I mean, you took out the debt. You signed your name on the paper.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
you do the thing, have the integrity to just go, all right. It was a long time ago. I could probably ignore it and have it go away, but, man, I'm going to sleep better at night knowing I did the right thing. So you're so close, man.
Yeah, and there's nothing on my credit report regarding this. Nothing. They haven't sent me in or done anything like that.
Oh, good.
And that's why I'm like, where I'm at right now, I'm more than willing to take responsibility for it. I just, like I said, I've never been in this situation and wanted to kind of
just be sure to get it in writing that this thing is clear.
Yeah.
Yep.
That you have no more relationship with them. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, and there's this, I love that he's asking the question. I love that he's willing to be transparent to go, okay, do I do this or do I just say, forget it, man? It's
not on my record.
The statute of limitations, and he's making and there's just something that it does for your soul to settle this thing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, on one side, there's the integrity and character of,
of course.
I took out the debt. On the other side, it really does free you. And you don't realize the weight that these situations have in our minds, on us physically. I mean, it's absolutely incredible once you really look at it.
Yeah,
so
it really is.
I'm doing it, Ken. Getting rid of the debt once and for all.
Too. Hey, you know that feeling, George, you get when you finally remember to leave your keys by the front door so the next morning when you're running late, they're right where they're supposed to be?
Been there, done that.
Do you? I don't think you experienced that. You seem to be very put together. Me, on the other hand, this is written for
me. But that's part of being put together.
Oh, very nice. Well, here's one of those opportunities. We're heading into the holiday season where our brains are focused on buying presents, thawing turkeys, and all of the things. And then all of a sudden it's January and we feel behind on everything. We want you to make plans to start the new year strong by joining us for Building Wealth Live here in Nashville, January 12th. Oh, it's going to be great. We're also headed to Indianapolis, Austin, Salt Lake City, and Anaheim for our 2023 event season. Dave Ramsey, Rachel Cruz, myself, George Kimmel, Dr. John Geloni, all of us together. Passes are only $39. You can reserve your seat now for a Building Wealth Live event. It's RamseySolutions.com/events, RamseySolutions.com/events. We'll see you on the road. Hey, it's been a great hour. Thank you, George. Thank you, guys. Thank you, America. This is The Ramsey Show.
Do you love a good Dave Rant? Want to see the latest Ramsey Show videos going viral? Check out your favorite moments from The Ramsey Show on YouTube. Go watch and subscribe to The Ramsey Show channel on YouTube.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. This is The Ramsey Show. It's where we talk with you about your life, your money, and your work, and your relationships. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by George Kimmel this hour. The phone number for you to jump in is toll-free, and it is 888-825-5225. 888-825-5225. We'd love to hear from you. And just a reminder, George is here, obviously, anchoring your money and financial questions, and I'm here to weigh in on your work life. Are you stuck? Do you feel like you're getting overlooked? Not sure where you want to go? Are you worried that you won't be able to make any career moves or changes while in the baby steps? Anything work-related, I'm here to weigh in on that as well. I would love to take your call. So let's take your money calls and your work calls this hour. Let's start it off with Scott in Indianapolis, Indiana. Scott, how can we help?
Hi, thank you guys for taking my call. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys here in Indianapolis here in February.
Oh, I'm glad you'll be making it to the Building Wealth event. That's awesome.
Absolutely. I already have my tickets.
Woo! I didn't have to give them away then. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have a question about health insurance. So I am self-employed, 32 years old, healthy. I am in baby steps 4 and 6. I'm hoping to be baby step 7, paying off my house in the next year and a half or so.
Wow.
Right now, I have a health savings account plan. I have never used that health insurance plan. I just never go to the doctor, really.
Consider yourself blessed. That is awesome.
Yeah. The premium right now is $325 a month. I'm self-employed, so not offered through an employer. But with it being open enrollment season, I was talking to my insurance agent a couple weeks ago, and that same policy is going to be going up to $400 a month, which is a pretty heavy increase. So pretty much all of the HSA eligible plans are going to be around that $400 a month range. She also threw out another option, which is going to be an $11,000 deductible plan. No HSA eligibility, but it will be $112 a month. This one has a $5,400 deductible, but again, I don't really use my health insurance, so it's just for catastrophic. I heard you guys a couple of segments ago in the Instagram flash questions talking about how you don't really recommend using the HSA for investments until baby step 7. But even then, once I get to baby step 7, at what point does the high premium make it not make sense for continuing to do HSA investments?
That is a great question, because you're saying, hey, I'm going to save, what is that, $288 a month if I switch over to this other plan, which is $3,500 a year. How much do you make?
This year, it's been a really good year, hoping to make over $200,000.
Oh, my goodness. That's incredible. Well, I mean, the truth of the math is that this is a drop in the bucket for you to have an increase of 75, making your income. And it still stinks. You're like, well, I'm not really using it. So the question is, with the higher deductible, you have that money in the bank, I assume, because you're following the baby steps. So if you needed to hit your max out of pocket for the year, it wouldn't tank you, even going to the 11. Now, the part of the HSA that I do like is that you can use it as a great retirement tool. And so if you max out that HSA from 32 to 65, well, there's a really cool rule that once you hit 65, you can actually just use it for retirement, not even towards medical expenses. So there's some really cool aspects of the HSA that I don't want to throw away just to go, well, we're saving $3,000 a year, when that could mean some buku bucks with compound growth over the next 30 years if you invest in that. So I would sit down, number one, with your insurance pro. Are they shopping around different companies, or are they beholden to one?
No, they're shopping around different insurance companies. But again, with me being self-employed, it's kind of
your options are
world out here.
Not as great as through an employer. Yeah,
exactly.
Do you think you'll be self-employed forever?
Pretty much, yes.
I mean, you're crushing it on your own. What do you do?
Yeah, I'm a chiropractor.
Awesome.
Nice.
Way to go. And a debt-free chiropractor. We like to hear that. Who's about to have a paid-for house. Yeah, so I mean, these are the kind of nitpicking questions where I would sit down and do the math of, hey, if I invested in my HSA, what could that look like over 30 years? And is it worth taking the hit of the extra, $3,500 a year I'm paying? And we don't know what healthcare is going to cost next year and 10 years from now and 20 years from now. So there's something else to factor in as well. So as a healthy guy, I hope you continue to remain healthy, and I think the deductible is not that big of a deal in your world. And so I don't think there's a terrible way you could go on either side of this thing.
Okay. Like I said, I've been using this as, exactly like you said, an investment vehicle for just letting it grow, not touching that HSA investment for the last couple of years. But I was just thinking, at one point, if it continues to go up and up and up with this, all of a sudden it's $7,500 or $75 more a month. At what point do I just have to draw a line and be like, this just doesn't make sense?
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And at one point, you might be self-insured, where you go, all right, I can have a crazy catastrophic plan, but other than that, I'm going to be okay if something goes down. But that's a great question, Scott. I mean, you're asking the right questions. You could also sit down with an investment pro like a SmartVestor Pro and crunch the numbers on the HSA side, and then you can start to compare those numbers apples to apples. It's hard to do that in a quick radio call. But
yeah, it really is. And he's coming to the Indianapolis event.
I can't wait to make sure you meet us. We usually hang out after the event and do pictures and
Well, I was wondering if
books.
we should invite him backstage for a pre-event adjustment.
Oh my goodness, Ken, that's a great idea.
I don't know if we'll have to have any kind of forms or X-rays ahead of time, but
Ken's
a little
just gonna lay down on the green room couch and just get adjusted.
I would trust him. A little snap, crackle, pop, and you're feeling good when you head out on stage there, George.
I love that. That's what Ken was thinking about. We're shooting the breeze on HSAs. Ken's like, I could really use an adjustment right now.
Well, listen, this is your lane, man. You were giving him great advice.
We were nerding out.
And I'm over here going, boy, I sure would like a little neck adjustment right now.
Well, Scott, be sure to get in touch. And if you want to join us for the Building Wealth, you don't have to come to the green room and give Ken an adjustment.
No, not. But if you want to, I'm sure we can make arrangements.
Ken's just letting any old stranger in the green room saying, you say you're a chiropractor, I trust you.
He's not any old stranger.
I trust Scott with my whole life
this
already.
This guy is in
Sharp
incredible
guy.
financial shape. And in all seriousness, when we talk to chiropractors or dentists or doctors that have a practice and they're not just swimming in debt, boy, it is such a relief.
That's the shocking part. This guy's debt-free, and he's going to have a paid-for house in a year and a half.
I know, and probably a thriving business, and he could grow it as much as he would like to grow it. This is the way to do it.
Absolutely.
Versus you get a practice and you're just
you're $300,000 in the hole for the practice, and you still have your student loans.
Whew, it gives me a stomachache.
You know what we need? Get Ken some Tums.
Tums. Well, that's right. We haven't had a Tums moment on the show in quite some time.
Give him some heartburn.
Not that we want one. We don't like the heartburn on the show.
Not sponsored, by the way.
No, not sponsored. Not at all. Not at all. All right, Scott, great talking to you. Hopefully we'll get to see you in Indianapolis and keep on keeping on. The best is yet to be. He's George Campbell. I'm Ken Coleman, and this is The Ramsey Show. The Ramsey Show continues. It continues to give you practical wisdom that will lead to transformation in your money life, your work life, and your relationship life. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by George Campbell, and we are excited to be with you. The phone number to jump in is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Sam joins us in Minneapolis, Minnesota now. Sam, how can we help?
Hi. I was calling because I am currently on baby step 4 and am going to graduate school here soon, and I'm going to be acquiring about tens of thousands of dollars of debt, roughly 97. And I was wondering, when I start saving that 15%, where should I be investing it, since I know I'm not in debt now, but I will be?
So you're currently debt-free, but you're soon to be in $100,000 of debt?
Yes.
Okay, so you're taking all these loans out at once. Is it too late to talk you off the ledge out of any of this? You already signed the paperwork?
I haven't taken out any loans.
Oh, you haven't?
No, I just got accepted last week.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And what are you getting your doctorate in?
I'm getting my doctorate in medicine.
Very cool.
Wow. Which way do you want to go?
I'm actually going to South College in Knoxville.
Okay, but I meant like what kind of practice? What kind of medicine are you going to practice?
I would like to be a pharmacy coordinator. I like doing the behind-the-scenes stuff to see people just go to have their visits smoothly.
Awesome. Do you have to have a doctorate to have that job?
You technically have to be a pharmacist.
Yeah, but you don't need the doctorate. Correct?
I guess it depends on where you go.
Okay, here's why I'm asking this. We don't want to see you go into debt. So if you need the doctorate, I get it. George, you looked that up. Do you need a doctorate? Is that a requirement here in Tennessee?
I'm currently not seeing that. I did see the median salary for pharmacy coordinators in Tennessee is about $50,000, which tells me there's probably not a doctorate involved.
I don't think so.
At that level.
And Sam, here's why I'm asking that. Again, if it does require a doctorate, we want you to be patient and save the cash up and get the doctorate. George and I were just talking about this earlier in the show where we had a chiropractor call in who was not swimming in debt, and as a result, you could hear him laughing.
He's about to pay off his house in his early 30s.
Paying off his house, and he's enjoying his work. So if you don't need the doctorate, don't do it. And you don't have the cash anyway. But if you have to have the doctorate, do it, but save up the cash.
And Sam, as far as the baby steps go, you're kind of in the pause phase where you're trying to cash flow this doctorate if you are pursuing that. And so you would not be investing anything right now. Your one job is to stack up as much cash as possible in order to go through this program completely debt-free.
Sure.
So once you're out of that, you're on the other side of this, you know what's happening. If you have debt, you don't have debt, then you can start investing once you're debt-free with that fully funded emergency fund. But right now, you got some life ahead of you, some big decisions to make, and I'm so glad you called before you signed on that dotted line. And if you need some more insight on this, please go watch our documentary, Borrowed Future. It is free on YouTube now, and it's about 88 minutes long, and it's going to give you some real good perspective on higher education, student loans, and this crisis we find ourselves in.
Oh, sure. I guess I don't think it's a pharmacy coordinator. I just know my manager's manager right now is a pharmacy coordinator, and he makes roughly $200,000.
Okay, so maybe a different title or role.
Yeah, I think you need a little more research. And Sam, I mean, you do not want to step into the $100,000 loan if you don't need this doctorate. You do not want to do it. So let's go spend a little bit more time researching, talking to those actual people there that you know on the ground and go, hey, what is required to get to where you are? Okay? And they're going to be willing to answer those questions. But again, you need to delineate between someone suggesting that you get a doctorate versus needing the doctorate. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you for the call. And again, George, back to, just in case anybody's confused, if a degree, whether it be an undergrad or a graduate level degree, is the only way to get where you want to go, then yes, we want you to do it. But we want you to take the advice of Christina Ellis. We have a best-selling book called Debt Free Degree. We want you to pay cash for it. It is not worth it. You know all too well the ugly side of the Borrowed Future documentary, and it's never worth going into that debt.
Yeah, and I stumbled myself before I knew about Ramsey, stumbled into $36,000 worth of debt. And unfortunately, you can't stumble out, as it turns out.
No.
You go into debt real nonchalantly, Ken, but you got to be chalant if you want to pay it off.
I like what you did there. Is that actually a word?
I don't think so, but I know you're a wordsmith. I
feel like it is, because if a word is nonchalant, then what is chalant?
One would think, Ken.
Yeah, let's look that up.
I think a quick Google search will tell us.
I think America wants to know. Because if it's non-invasive,
it's not coming up in the dictionary.
It's invasive.
It is
or
not.
I've always wondered about overwhelming and underwhelming. Is something just whelming?
Okay. All right. We will table this issue for a commercial break and come back to you.
Webster's got nothing for me.
Nothing on chalant. So there it is. Let's go to Spokane, Washington. Tom is on the line. Tom, how can we help?
Hey guys, I have a rental question.
Okay.
So I got a new landlord in July. He said he was going to get a management company to come and take care of everything. He gave me his name. I didn't sign anything, no new lease or anything. And then I never saw him again. So I'm sitting on 6 months rent. Haven't heard from anybody. Just wondering what to do.
Whoa, wait. Okay. For 6 months, you've not seen or heard, you've not gotten a bill, nothing?
Is this person alive?
No, that's kind of what either he's in jail or he's dead.
Is this a house?
That's my thought.
Are you renting a house?
A duplex.
A duplex.
He bought two duplexes right next to each other, and he hasn't picked up rent from anybody.
Okay, so this isn't just you. You have other people that are in the duplexes with you, and nobody's heard anything.
Yeah, and we did the math. It's over $20K in rent that he hasn't picked up.
Did he own these duplexes outright, or was he in debt for them?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Well, this is very.
I would honestly go to police and do a welfare check on this person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
my in-laws are worried he's trying to pull some kind of scam, but I know
it's a weird scam to pull when there's no money coming out of your account.
Yeah, like you're not legally liable for anything. You haven't even signed a lease agreement.
And that's the other thing. He said our rent was going to go up another $400, but we didn't sign anything. So my neighbor is still budgeting the old rent and not the new rent because he hasn't signed anything. Do you think I should go off of what he said, the increase?
Oh, first of all, you don't.
It's a moot point.
It's
right
all
now.
Yeah. There's nothing for you to do other than, I guess you could, like George said, file a missing person, or do a little research and find out where this guy is. Because the only thing I'm concerned about, honestly, Tom, I'm processing this one. If I was in your shoes, first of all, I wouldn't be paying anybody anything. I haven't gotten a bill. We haven't heard from the guy.
Definitely hang on to the money. Yeah, don't spend that money.
But I'm not spending it. But I'm also making plans to go somewhere else in case this thing goes, wacky. He's either going to show up at some point and ask for the money, or something's really wrong, and you're not going to be able to squat there forever.
Right.
So I'd save the money and have a backup plan.
That's what we're doing.
I know, but you're technically not doing anything wrong because the owner is non-existent. Here's the other thing I would do. I would absolutely stay there, but I would have a plan that I could get out of there in 36, 48 hours if I had to.
Okay, yeah.
Is there any other association tied to the building? Is there anyone else you can get in touch with? Maintenance, anyone?
Well, that's the weird thing is somebody's still paying the water bill. Our water still works.
All right, so call the water department. Just do a little bit of...
Who's paying? We need to get in touch with them.
Yeah, I would do it. This is a very simple investigation thing here where you can call the utilities and start nosing around and figure out what's going on. I'd be preparing to leave. Something doesn't add up. It's weird.
Spooky situation.
Spooky in Spokane, George. That's what's going on there.
Leave it to Ken Coleman with the alliteration. I love it.
I'm always here for you, George. Hey, we're here for you. Don't move. More of your calls coming up. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back, America. You are joining the conversation about your life here on The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by George Camel. Blinds.com's 100% satisfaction guarantee means even if you mismeasure or pick the wrong color, they'll remake your blinds for free. By the way, I did that once and mismeasured. Can't talk. But
to the shock of no one.
Exactly.
Don't leave that to Ken Coleman to measure the blind. It's intricate
and
work.
I would gripe about it except for Blinds.com. They just
sent you new ones.
I called them up, called the customer service, told them I was a bonehead, fell all over the sword. And the nice person was like, hey, don't worry about it. It's why we do this. So when I read this, I want people to understand, I know what it's like to mismeasure, and they take care of you. So anyway, you get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. All you got to do is use the promo code Ramsey to get the best deal.
Today's question comes from Robert in Connecticut. I currently work at a job in the social services field making about $45,000 a year. I don't hate my job, but I do want to make more money. I've got a degree in psychology, which I absolutely despise due to the fact that I went to college because I lacked the self-confidence at 18 to stand up to my parents and stand my ground.
Oh, yikes.
Now I'm 25 and I'm more confident than ever. I'm thinking about going back to school for accounting because it's a lucrative field with a lot of job security. I don't necessarily want to be an accountant, but as I get older, I see there's great value in a stable job. On the other hand, I'm still young and want to pursue YouTube. I've got an idea for a podcast I want to do with a friend that I'm confident is unique. It's what I'm passionate about, and hopefully it'll blow up. I'm also a realist and know that I do need to start taking life more seriously and start focusing on a stable career rather than taking a chance and throwing myself into this podcast, not knowing what the outcome will be for certain. Any thoughts?
Yeah, lots of thoughts here.
So many thoughts.
Wow. Okay, let's just review for everybody. He's in social services, making $45,000 a year, wants to make more money. Good. Fantastic. Has a degree that he has no interest in, psychology. All right. Now he's thinking about an accountant because somebody somewhere, or he read something somewhere where he said, oh, accounting is such a very good, stable career. I can make good money. But he didn't want to do it. He wants to try the YouTube and podcast thing, which he should do. But they don't have to be exclusive. It's not all in on the podcast and YouTube. It's I'm going to do that on the side, meaning I'm going to do it nights and weekends or early mornings, and I'm going to put out content and see if it does, in fact, blow up. Okay? But while I'm doing that, I'm actually pursuing work that I'm good at, work that I enjoy, and work that produces results that matter to me. He needs to get clear career assessment.
Absolutely.
In all honesty, just to be able to go, what work was I put on this planet to do? In other words, what am I good at? What do I love to do? What results matter to me? Folks, that is a purpose statement for each one of us. If we spend the majority of our day using what we do best to do work we love to produce results that matter to us, we are experiencing purpose and meaning, and we're actually enjoying it because we're good at it and we love the work. And so our personal life tends to be a little bit better. Our financial life is better if we're making solid decisions because we're excelling at what we're doing. We're getting promoted. We're making more money. So this young man, the thoughts are, hey, go ahead and start the YouTube or the podcast, but let's also get very serious about the type of work that makes you feel fulfilled and that you're actually good at. And now we do both. And if the podcast and the YouTube channel takes off, fantastic, you can check out. But until then, we don't want to just stay in the social services field either because, again, it's not long before you're languishing in a role that is very needed.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're on the front lines with people. And if you're not committed to social service work, you shouldn't be doing it.
Well, it's so funny that our brains they're like, either I have to be miserable and make good money, or I'm going to love what I do and be broke.
That's right.
Why do our brains just give us those two options when we know there's so much more in between?
Well, because I think, again, the way work is described to us, the way we experience work so many times is in a negative light. You know, so it's kind of like, all right, boy, if I want to do something I love, there ain't no way I can make money doing that. Like the dream job is like a fantasy. It's like a unicorn with wings. Do all unicorns have wings? Or is that just
the ones in my head do?
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Well, and look at this story, Ken. He said, I despise the fact that I went to college. I lack the self-confidence. The parents pressured him into getting a degree he didn't want to get in a field he didn't want to be in.
Yeah.
And then parents are like, why don't you have the kids yet in the house? And they're like, I'm miserable, Mom and Dad.
Yeah, you pressured me down a path that I didn't want to go down.
Agree.
Oh, it's so
And also,
sad.
what's the podcast idea? And go, if it's sports, for example. Well, maybe you should go work in sports.
Well, that's exactly
because
right.
YouTube is not a.
That's a very
platform.
good call out.
So when you say I want to be a YouTuber, that tells me nothing. That's just a platform.
What's a professional role that is in some way related to the subject of the podcast?
It's got to be something. It's got to be something.
Well,
I mean, I want to start a sports podcast with you.
Do
Ken.
you?
Yeah, it's called SEC What I Did There.
SEC What I Did There.
You're great at sports commentating.
Yeah.
I know nothing about sports.
You know nothing about it. I don't even know how that would work.
Well, I'm learning along the way. And maybe I teach you a play or two.
A play?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or play action pass, if you will.
I don't know, George. I'm afraid you're going to hurt yourself. So
well, that's a free idea if anyone wants to start a new sports podcast.
Let's get to some money, work, and relationship questions to keep you away from sports, okay?
That's a touchdown.
I'll tell you what would be fun is I'm going to ask George during the commercial break if he knows what the SEC stands for. Good chance he doesn't. I'll report to you when we come back for our final segment. But first, Mike is on the line in Sarasota, Florida. Mike, how can we help?
Hey, I appreciate it. Yeah, just a quick question. You know, I'm basically under contract. Of course, I could get out of it to buy a new home. Actually, it's a townhouse in Sarasota. And I guess the question is, I have some debt, as far as student loans. But basically, to kind of give you a snapshot, I make, around $90,000 a year, and I have about $84,000 in student loans. I'm 46. I have, a car payment, but other than that, that's the only debts I have. and the mortgage payment looks like it's going to be around the $2,900 with, all fees and everything, CDDs, HOA fees, et cetera, $2,900 to $3,100. And I'm just wondering if it's something that I should do, or just continue to rent and see what the market does in the next couple of years. And I will say I have about maybe $38,000 in my 401k.
Okay. Well, the short answer here, Mike, is no, I would not do this, because I'm scared you're going to be house poor and you're going to be stressed up to your eyeballs, and this American dream of home ownership is going to quickly become a nightmare. That's what I'm feeling. I feel it in your voice. You kind of are sensing it's going there. What is your take-home pay?
Yeah, I was going to say, unfortunately, a lot of taxes, I'm in sales, so, I get a salary and commissions. But to give you an example, last year I made 105, but this year maybe it's 85, and the next year it could be 100, you know what I mean? So it fluctuates, and I get taxed, kind of heavily, it seems like.
Is your take-home generally the 5 or 6 a month? 5 or 6,000?
I think that's fair, yeah, to be conservative, maybe 4,700, 4,800 after, deductions for health insurance. And
you're talking 3,100 is going to be going towards this home ownership dream. And so, man, that is 63% of your take-home pay is being swallowed up immediately. So I would get out of this contract if you can do it with no harm and no foul and with your integrity intact. But you're just...
it's an FHA. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's all right.
It's an FHA loan, and there is some very big incentives they put on it. It's supposedly like about $420,000, and then they lowered the price by $30,000, and they're paying pretty much most of my closing costs. So there are some pretty good deals, but at the end of the day, I'm looking at the payment. The last thing I want is to be house poor, and I also kind of wonder the second part of that question: should I just focus on paying off those student loans for the next few years and then try to buy something?
Yes. I want you out of debt completely before you even start saving up for the down payment. And before you do that, you need an emergency fund on top of that. So here's the deal. Baby step 1, $1,000. Baby step 2, pay off all consumer debt using the debt snowball. Line up all your debts, smallest to largest, and attack the small one aggressively. Make minimum payments on the rest. Baby step 3, 3 to 6 months of expenses in the emergency fund. And then we start saving up for the down payment. But these FHA loans are not a blessing. It's not a deal, because they just make broke people even broker, because they can get into homes with nothing down while still having $100,000 of debt sitting on the other side. So, man, I want the best for you, Mike. I know that you want this dream. You're 46. You're going, I should be a homeowner by now. But when you do it slowly, with patience, with no debt, and you get the down payment saved, it's going to be a completely different experience. So be patient, stay the course, and get out of this deal.
Good stuff there, George. All right, we got to take a quick break, but we're not going anywhere, and you shouldn't either. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague George Kimmel, and we are here for you this hour. Our scripture of the day comes from Joshua 1, verse 9. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened, and do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Today's quote from Elon Musk. Haven't heard of him much. Hasn't been in the news much
No,
lately.
not at all. It's been all quiet on the Western Front there.
Yeah. By the way, fantastic movie on Netflix.
I was baiting you into that, Ken.
I know. I can't even help myself. Folks, ADHD's real. I want you to know the struggle's real to stay focused. Today's quote from Elon Musk: when something is important enough, you do it, even if the odds are not in your favor. Boy, now that begs a question, George.
The team planted that quote.
This is relevant. Okay, the scuttlebutt, the brouhaha is that Twitter is going down. What say you, George?
I mean, it's been real interesting to watch.
Are the odds in Elon's favor?
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to bet against the guy, because against all odds, he's been very successful. But the way things are going over at Twitter, whew.
I mean, it was trending yesterday, RIP Twitter. And so a lot of people laid off, a lot of people left yesterday because there was a deadline Now, this is relevant to remote work. There was a deadline as of yesterday. If you were going to want to remote work, you were done. He was going to give you 3 months
and
severance.
the ultimatum of you're about to be working real intense hours, and if that's not for you, let me know by 5 p.m. because you're gone.
And so then he changed it. So then he came out and tweeted, and he was like, all right, on remote work, if you can get an agreement with your leader. So Elon is not the picture of stability as a leader. I'm just saying.
That's a nice way to put it.
All right. Very good. Scranton, PA. Boy, I love when we go to Scranton. Always puts a smile on my face. Kevin joins us in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Kevin, how can we help?
Hi. It's nice to talk to you guys.
Good to talk to you, sir. What's going
on? So I was just curious if I should just pause my investments and start paying on my student loans. I graduate in the spring of this year, so I didn't know what should I do about that.
Okay, how much do you have in student loans?
I didn't really realize it. I'm the first in my family to actually kind of go through college. So I'm about 29 years old. So when I went, I kind of thought it was just like they were just telling me it's free money, don't worry about it.
Who told you
and
it was
then
free
I
money?
realized that I end up owing like $40,000 in student loans.
Oh boy!
So
you thought they were just giving away $40,000 worth of monies?
No, they were telling me like it was like Pell Grants and it's free money.
Oh, okay. Like the financial aid package. They're like, well, it includes $40,000 in subsidized loans.
Yeah,
You thought,
and I didn't know about that.
Okay. Well, we learned from our mistakes, and I fell into the same traps as you, Kevin, so I'm not beating you up here. But there is a time and place that I want you to invest that is going to help you build wealth, and that is once you're debt-free. And so as long as you have debt in your life, I want you to pause all investing, and not because George said, but because we found that if you want to build wealth long-term, you get out of debt, stay out of debt, which gives you the margin to invest way more later on.
Oh, okay.
So you don't have an income right now?
Yeah, I make about like $25,000 a year.
Okay.
So I have about like $6,000 in some stocks. I was thinking about cashing that out and just either holding on to it as a emergency fund.
Do you have any other money in the bank?
Yeah, I have about $2,000 in my bank account.
Okay, keep the $2,000 there. I would cash out of those stocks and apply it to your student loan debt and start to knock those out. That is your next goal in life, is to get rid of this. Do you have any other debt other than the student loans? Car payments, credit cards?
Maybe about like $300 on a credit card, but I'm about to pay that off and get rid of it.
Love it. Yeah, cut that thing up, close the account, and never look back. I'm going to gift you, Kevin, Financial Peace University, because it'll walk you through what we call the baby steps. And in there, it's going to show you exactly how to get out of debt the best way, the fastest way, which is the debt snowball, listing all your debts smallest to largest, regardless of the interest rate, and then you're never going to look back. But man, I see a bright future for a guy like you. And when you get out of school and you're trying to do investing, you're trying to pay off the loans, you're trying to save up for the down payment, you end up nowhere because you're doing 48 things at once. So slow down, get real focused and intense on one thing at a time. That's what we teach in Financial Peace University. So hang on the line. Austin will pick up and we'll get that to you.
Yeah, I love that. Love the young people thinking about this stuff and being serious about it. Great stuff. Let's go to Caleb in Boise, Idaho. Caleb, how can we help?
Hi. So I think I have a career question. I'm trying to figure out if I need to switch my job or add another job for more income, because I'm 22 years old and I'm still living at home, and me and my girlfriend are getting pretty serious, and we'd like to kind of get married hopefully next year or something like that. But I don't have any money saved up for a ring or an apartment or like anything like that.
Okay. What are you doing now?
I actually love my job. I get to work on exotic cars and stuff like that and wash them and detail. I'm a detailer.
Okay.
But it's not paying the most right now. Like it's kind of just getting me by, or maybe I'm just not budgeting well.
What are you making per hour?
I'm making $17 an hour.
Okay. And give me the and so do you have any debt? You were telling, I don't think you do. Do you have any debt?
I have a car payment I still owe $16 on, and then maybe a $400 car repair bill coming in. But
all right, so what's your car payment?
$321 a month.
All right. So you said you thought it was a career question. What's the specific question about your work?
Yeah, I'm just getting really overwhelmed and stressed because, I really want to get married. I really want to move out, but I'm just kind of living paycheck to paycheck, and my car's been having so many issues. It's just like a constant. There's always something wrong with it.
Yeah.
So I'm debating if I should get a truck. I'm looking at like a $17,000 truck, but I feel like that might be too much.
Yeah.
And
well, first of all right, so you need more income because it feels like you like working with cars. Do you want to work long term with cars? Is that a?
I think I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I tell you what, I think this is less about changing the job unless you can get a better paying job.
Yeah. Are you working for a company doing detailing, or is this on your own?
Yeah. It's a really big company. It's a higher end.
All right, so here's my point. I think your options are, can I keep working with this company but get a better paying job with the company still working with cars, okay? Or you need to go get another job, which is a part-time job. You're young. And you can go work and get another job, maybe making $20 an hour, stocking shelves at a big box store. Go get more income. And then we only got about a minute and a half, but I want to have George step in here because the reason you're living paycheck to paycheck is really not the $17 an hour job. It's because you're not managing your money well, and George can help you there.
Yeah. So what's this car worth?
I bought it at 21, and I could probably sell it on Facebook for 17. It's a Mustang, so it's kind of hard to sell right now.
Why is it hard to sell right now?
Just because Mustangs are harder to sell. Sports cars are harder to sell.
Yeah, I think there's a guy like you out there who wants to buy a Mustang for $17,000. So I think you go sell that Mustang and get a reliable, used, cheaper car, maybe for $6,000 or $10,000 to help speed up this journey and free you from that car payment. Do you have any money in the bank?
I only have about $1,000.
Okay.
I'm kind of on step 2. I just purchased the financial piece.
Oh, great.
Good.
Well, that'll be very helpful as well. But I'll tell you this. I met a kid, 16 years old, at our Building Wealth event in Sacramento. He was making $40 to $70 an hour doing detailing on his own. And so I say that to say you may want to go out on your own and just go in your neighborhood Facebook group and next door and start posting in there and saying, hey, I do details for $120, and you start to get a lot of gigs. You do a reliable job, and you start to make double your income overnight. Just doing even on the side right now. You could do that on the weekends.
So I should just really kind of find some side income to kind of
for now.
Moving forward.
Long term, we got to get the income up. But for now, things you can do tomorrow is go do this stuff on the side.
While you're looking for what does the ladder look like for me to grow in this company or somewhere else, working in cars or working with cars. But that can be figured out long term once we stop the fire. Hey, thank you so much for the call, Caleb. Good job, George.
Thanks,
I want to say thanks to the guys behind the glass for keeping us on the air, and we want to thank you, America, for listening and watching. This is your show. It is The Ramsey Show. Hey folks, Ken Coleman here. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Get your daily dose of advice on life and money. Check out all of our shows from the Ramsey Network wherever you listen to podcasts.